we've got skull gators today.
Good morning, Flash.
Good morning, Charge. Just admiring your gators.
Oh, yeah, they're my third pair so far on trail. 270 miles plus the 9.2 approach, and my third pair of gators.
You're rocking those skulls.
Podgy will like these.
They are great gators.
Yes.
So it is 5:50 a.m.
Yes.
And
up early.
Where are we going?
We're going into town, and there's a shop. It's open, a little delicatessen open at 6 o'clock, and we're going to have a breakfast and pick something up for lunch, and so fresh food. And we've got just under 20 miles to the shelter, so, and I think it's about 7,000 feet of elevation we've got to do today.
You hadn't mentioned that earlier.
No, it's a surprise, and it's very important that I have little surprises in store for you, which is cool. It's only a 5-person shelter, so there's a few people on the trail, so we should be the first there. If not, there's a camping site another 2 miles down the track, and with water, so yeah, we'll find a place. But the reason we have to go so far today is that the shelter at around 13 or 14 miles that we were wanting to do is closed because of aggressive bear activity. I know.
How's your pack feeling?
2 things. One is having a day and a half off in town, eating town food, drinking beers, and 2 good bottles of wine. Sloth. That wine was stunning last night at Cabernet, Napa Valley. It was stunning. A few more beers, and yeah, packs full of food for 3.5 days. Wobbly legs, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. Hey, today we get to do this.
We get to do it. It's a good day.
Let's go.
Let's get to the Hillbilly Deli. Yummy.
Couldn't sleep at night, I was stressed out. Always crying for mom and dad. If I could go, I would go. Can I go back? I would hold my little hand.
Over the river and turn right. Into the woods we go. Oh, and probably up the hill.
You keep trying and telling you don't take a breath. You belong to you and take your time. Take your time. I would work all day till my
Fancy seeing you here.
Anything to be a go-to girl.
6:43 and we're out of town and along beside a river. We went to the Hillbilly Deli, as you saw, and had a really nice egg and cheese breakfast biscuit and some coffee, and they kindly made us cheese subs for our lunch. We're going along a nice flat bit at the moment, but I know there's a big hill coming, and you feel funny after you've been in town for a day and a half. You feel kind of lazy and slightly lethargic, so my legs are taking a moment to wake up. And I know that there's a really big hill coming, but the weather's looking pretty good. I think there's maybe rain potentially forecast after 3 p.m, so we're going to move along and try and get to the shelter or wherever we're going to be as quickly as possible. But there's a lot of food in my backpack. I'm looking forward to getting back out there, but I am going to miss the comforts of town. Goodbye, Hot Springs. You were great. There's even a seat. It's 2 hours in and we usually put our feet up and have something to eat, but look at that dam. It's empty down there. It's a dam which is very full of water. I'm not surprised with all the rain we've had recently, but it's such a pretty spot. Well done, Charge. You were charging. I've got to say that those skull gators are very fast gators.
Yeah, well, I put a Harley Davidson power command on.
Did you?
Yeah, changed the exhaust pipes. Did a bit of a, new heads on the motor.
And they're charging.
And it's working.
They're charging.
Hello.
Hey, Sloth, it's a dam.
Oh, damn.
Damn! 5 miles in, and just over 2 hours. We've had a break, and we're having a nice bit of road walking this morning. The climb initially at Hot Springs was brutal up these, what do you call them? Switchbacks. Oh. But we are currently walking down a country road, and it's really, really nice just to be out in the open for a change. Temperature's great. It may change later, I think, the weather, so we're conscious of just keeping moving. Unfortunately, Sloth's not feeling so great today, so he's a bit behind us, just keeping pace with us, but there's nothing worse than feeling horrible when you're out in the woods. That was a nice bit of road walking. It looks like we're heading back under the trees. Here's the sign about bears. So the area that we're walking into now has been closed for overnight camping, so which is why we're walking to the shelter that we're walking to, and it's a longer distance than generally we would because we can't camp for the next while. 10 miles in, Charge is reading us the good news and the bad news about what's coming up for the next 10 miles. Early lunch. A summary of the last 10 miles would be we were either going up or going down. Actually, to be fair, there's been some lovely flat bits and the trail's been really nice, beautifully maintained today. Lots of notices about bears. Haven't seen any, haven't heard any, but we're going to truck on and try and get to that shelter as soon as possible. I think there might be some rain predicted after 3, possibly, yeah. So we've just come down the hill, and there was a sign saying that there was the cookie lady who lives down here is giving fresh cookies and fresh water to through hikers. Well, 80 hikers. We're a 3-year through hikers, and oh, what a lovely house there is down here. So it looks like we might be able to A, see this lovely house, which is absolutely gorgeous, and B, have a fresh cookie from the cookie lady. What a treat. That's fantastic. It's been a lovely hike today, and things like this add some real fun and, I don't know, joy to it. I didn't realise there were houses up here. So there are people living in these beautiful mountains, in beautiful cabins. Gosh, this is gorgeous. So we'll advance towards where I think I can see some cold water. And then you never know, there might be a cookie there. Before you put your hand in the cookie jar, Joe, there's disinfecting wipes.
Yes.
And then it looks like we've got a cookie. And if we'd like to have another cookie, we could put some money in here for $2. Your first cookie's free, and the second cookie is $2. And then we're going to sign here and express our gratitude. How wonderful. Thank you very much.
I wonder what's in here.
Ooh, what do you got? What flavour?
Cookie.
And what flavour?
It's a peanut butter cookie. Its own little bag. And here it is here.
We are enormously grateful, aren't we?
Yes. So we've heard about this lovely lady, cookie lady, watching YouTubes over the last 3 or 4 years. And wow.
How wonderful to experience this.
It is. It's awesome. So cleaned our hands, got cold filtered water. We left a little donation in here, and playing it forward, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, precisely.
Yum, yum. I'm going to eat.
Delicious. And what a beautiful cottage and a beautiful part of the world. Today's been such a great day. Great walk, and now a treat like this. So we came down the trail to be met first with a sign saying that there's the cookie lady, and then there was Emoji. And Emoji, you're a full-time trail angel, and being a trail angel means feeding us.
Yes, making people's days different, better.
Better, absolutely. Look at all these treats we've got here, and there's just treats everywhere, and you've even got some chairs. Oh, Joe's got a Coca-Cola, and Charge has got a Coca-Cola, and he's a very happy man. All I can say is thank you very, very, very much. And our mothers thank you as well.
They will.
So the winos are dragging themselves up this surprisingly steep path. But I just wanted to say, while it's fresh in my memory, that was a bit of a high point for me in the last 2 years, in fact, to come out and find out that the cookie lady's daughter...
It's a new one.
Oh, it's a new cookie lady.
The other cookie lady's from way up north.
The other cookie lady was from way up north, Joe tells me. Charge tells me.
Halfway.
But there's a cookie lady down here who, well, you saw. How great was that? Just to get clean hands, clean water, and a beautiful cookie. And then Emoji was sitting there doing her ministry by just providing chairs, having a chat, having a soda, feeding us. She had an extraordinary amount of food. And she gave us some poetry that we can read later. So, Emoji, what a wonderful, wonderful gift that was today. A really great day on trail. We've arrived at the shelter. 20 miles for us today. Oh, good beer hangs, we like those. 20 miles for us today. And if I come over here, I'll be able to tell you how many Appalachian Trail miles we've done in total. Let's have a look what our number is. We're 294.5 Appalachian Trail miles. So we're not adding in the approach trail like Charge likes to, but that's where we're at. So we're going to crack in 5.5 miles, that's tomorrow morning, we're going to crack 300 miles. We're going to stay in the shelter. I think it might rain tonight, but we're the first here. Stuff's still coming, but we've got a tarp down because it's a bit dirty, And we're going to blow up our sleep mats and settle in. This is lovely. Okay, let's check out the Privy, because I've heard some pretty average things about it. All right. Oh, we've got lots of leaves. Okay, that must be what you throw on. And, well, it could be worse. There's a door. We should celebrate that.
I was only 9 when I picked my hair out. Nobody knew what to do about that. I couldn't sleep at night, I was stressed out. Always crying for mom and dad. If I could go, I would go. Can I go back? I would hold my little hand and say, take your time.
It's 6:15 and we are on trail. Sloth is going to catch up with us. He's just sorting his stuff out and he's not feeling so great this morning. And Charge and I are just swapping poles because they all look the same, but clearly they're different leads because he's a lot taller than me. We'll come to Charge in a bit, but we've got the first thing out of the gate is a very steep hill. So I'm thinking that maybe we will grind our way up the hill and then come back to Charge. I had a reasonable night's sleep, but we had got into bed, we were snuggled up. Then some extremely loud leprechaun turned up at about, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Could see everyone was in bed and proceeded to yell at the top of his voice, make huge amounts of noise, cook his dinner, and then carried on hiking once he'd made sure that everybody was awake. The joys of hiking and shelter life, eh? Good morning, Charge.
Hi, Flash.
How are you this morning?
Good. 7:30. Already walked for an hour. We just had breakfast. Done 2 miles or 2.4 miles.
Uphill.
Uphill. So we left the shelter and walked up. And my body parts weren't working. My toes, my foot, my ankle, my knees.
After an enormous day of climbing yesterday,
I know.
to turn right out of that shelter and go, last time I looked, we did 700 feet elevation straight away.
Yeah.
Was hard work. But anyway.
We did 1,000 in total going up that hill from the shelter, so it was cool. Big day today, 22.5. We did 20 yesterday, so pretty much got 20 miles to go. We're going to a place called Hogback Ridge Shelter.
Yeah, I always worry about names like that.
Yep, Sleep 6. It's right on the trail. Food hang cables. There's a mouldering privy. Space for a few tents.
They're all pretty disgusting privies, actually, to be honest.
Ooh. It's your turn today to get the water.
Why? How many miles away from the
it's a quarter of a mile down a side trail. I might see if there's we carry water. Oh, look, we can do that.
I think we'll be taking water in with us. There's also something significant, Charge, that happens in about 3.25 miles this morning. Do you know what that is?
Could be the border.
No. Could be, but no. It's something with 2 zeros on the end.
Ah, we crack our 300 miles.
We do.
309.2.
Oh, you're always going to add the approach trail
I
on.
told you I made changes.
You made changes.
I made changes to the Appalachian Trail, and full stop.
It's a beautiful day today.
It is stunning.
No beers so far, but
Everyone else is seeing lots of beers.
it's okay. I'm quite comfortable with that.
Oh well.
Should we get walking? Here are options when the weather's really bad. So we're going along an exposed ridgeline trail. It's a beautiful day. But on really, really bad weather, you can blue blaze, go left, follow the blue blazes, and go through this piece of mileage much more safely.
Look who I found in the woods. There's Flash. Hi Flash.
Hello, Charge.
Nice rocky climbs, isn't it?
It's really rocky today after all the soft paths yesterday.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's beautiful. Finally up on top of the ridge. And there's some beautiful mountains over here. We've seen lots of beautiful mountains. But if I come around, you can see all the thick foliage that we've been walking through. And if I come around here, what's new here is there's lowland, farms, houses, and we haven't seen a lot of those. So as we move, we're very close to the 300-mile mark, maybe 1 mile away. The terrain is changing, and I really feel the move, the distance we've travelled from Georgia all the way here to through North Carolina and really close to the Tennessee border. And that's where we're going, that way. Three, 0, 0. $300 miles plus he just can't let it go, plus 9.2. Whee! Congratulations, 300 miles plus 9.2. I won't leave you hanging. Do that. Well, that's a big achievement, 300 miles. I don't know how many days it's taken us, but we're kind of picking up the pace now. So we've got less than 3 weeks of walking left, but we're going to do 500. We're hoping we're going to get to 600. It depends on a number of things. It's been hard going today, really rocky, lots of rock hopping and uncomfortable on Joe's ankle. But it seems to have smoothed down a bit. I keep on scratching my face because there are a lot of bugs as well. But it's a beautiful day. and we feel very alone in the woods this morning because there's just no one around us at all. This shelter's called Jack's Cottage, I think. Anyway, we've stopped here because we all need some water and maybe just use the conveniences. This is quite a nice cottage. No, it's Jerry's shelter. Jerry cabin shelter. Never rely on me for names. But this is lovely, actually.
There's a whisper at the door. I can't hear it anymore.
We found ourselves walking through a series of meadows today. In fact, the last one had a road or a driveway up to it. So you get a sense that there were definitely people that lived here, that farmed here, that planted fruit trees, but are clearly here no longer. It's about 1:15 and we've done nearly 14 miles. Just had a lovely lunch sitting in the woods. Interestingly, I was just talking to a fellow hiker called Tadpole, who's hiking with his nephew, but he's through hiked back in 1993. And he said to us, "Did you hear those coyotes this morning?" Well, I thought there was a whole bunch of dogs baying in the distance, which sounded agitated. Well, they weren't dogs, though probably related. There was a whole pile of coyotes. So that's my first time, I think, of hearing coyotes baying in the wild. From a distance, I'm happy to say.
My own place to be. And I'll wait my turn till I learn.
Back into the woods. It's nice and cool.
But oh, my eyes can see my own.
5.5 more hours to go, and it's all uphill. So the AT's saved the hardest for last today, but we're going to take it easy and just get ourselves up there. Oh, and the bugs are disgusting. As we walk the last 0.1 towards the Hogridge shelter, today's walk will give us 22.3 Appalachian Trail miles, but Joe and I have both, after various visits to water sources and the long visit to the water source we will have to do when we get to this shelter, I'll be well over 23 miles. I think Joe will be 24, so it's been a long day.
I'm 24 miles now.
Joe's 24 miles now. He'll be 25 by the time we finish this. So the day started with a really steep hill, turned into some rocky ridge walking, and then just some really tricky rocks. It smoothed out into some beautiful walking in the forest with, you know, great gradient, either up or down. It was a much smoother gradient. And then it's finished with the last five miles, which has been a gut buster, an absolute gut buster. So Charge and I are going to get to the shelter, determine whether we're going to sleep in the shelter or tent, and then head off for 0.25 of a mile to get water, or 0.25 of a mile to come back, cook some dinner, and probably pass out. Look, it's been hard today, but it's also been a gorgeous day as well. We've had amazing meadows, we've had beautiful views. It's been a sensational day, but by crikey, am I happy to see this sign over here that says, here it is, you can read it for yourself, shelter. Thank goodness for that. Whew.